Right, the discussion in Parliament must go on. Chris Sairu there, but we're getting back to him. Let's get a perspective now from our very own Emmanuel Tor, who is also on the other side of Parliament. Emmanuel, what are you learning from the members of Parliament, apart from the vote they took yesterday? Perhaps they know what's happening next week?
Well, thank you very much, Ken. It is becoming a busy day here in Parliament, and from the other end, we're also having more discussions about the budget, and what we expect to be tabled this afternoon is about 3.6 trillion shillings budget that we expect to have a lot of conversations across the country. And I'm joined by one of the members of the finance of the budget committee, who is also very critical in the discussions that they had in coming up with the budget. That is Florence Jematia, who is the woman rep for Baringo County. Mheshimiwa, sorry for keeping you long, for waiting for long. Just tell us, how did you come up with the 3.6 trillion shillings, and what was going through the committee when they decided that they're going to take the ceiling higher?
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to agree that I am one of the members of the Budget Appropriation Committee. We sat for 21 probably days, and we were appropriating the 3.6 plus trillion according to the request and the bottom-up approach of government of William Ruto. What came out very clearly is that the government of the day were so keen in appropriating more monies to productivity, to give an essence of production at the expense of expenditure. We appropriated a lot of money, especially in, like for instance, agriculture. We did a lot of it in, zero rating, fertilizers, import of goods. That is, that enables the growth of the economy. We also injected a lot of it in as part of the wide base of taxation in content creation, YouTubes and all those kind of things. And this is, but we also tolerated and gave it to lower than 5%. And that is going to give us a lot of room for everyone who is able to do business wherever they are in the country, especially because of the presence of a lot of mobile, access and digital presence. It is going to give Kenyans an opportunity to make their money wherever they are. Another thing is farming. Also in farming is fishing, for instance. We want to grow most of the fish, and we have injected a lot of money to enable the farming, fishing farming to be domiciled more in Kenya. As you are aware, we always import a lot of fish from China and other parts of it. But this time around, we want to export our fish, and we want to grow more, especially from the lakes and oceans and that kind of thing. We even did a survey to know how many fish within our borders, probably especially in the ocean, and we did something called, we did allocate money to something called something trotting. It is in the fishing industry that is going to enable us to understand at one point how many fish are we going to have in our sea. We also did a lot of it in terms of zero rate levy in building materials, cement, roads, steel, so that we are able to get, a fast-hand industrialization growth in our industrial setup. We are also looking at, in this budget, how Kenyans can access education by putting a lot of money in JSS and enabling the growth of CBC, which is a new thing in our system that is going to give our children a better future because of the access and proper access of education is what we're going to do.
Okay. So, Mheshimiwa, before I let you go, the 16% VAT on fuel is still there, and it is going to really have a ripple effect in terms of what Kenyans are going to buy. Why didn't you just leave it at 8% or bring it to 10%?
The 8% was actually a subsidy that was introduced by the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And this means if you're an OTS importer, like the rubies, the high-end importers, through OTS, that is Open Tender System of Government, what used to happen is 16% is there, but 8% was a levy that the government was subsidizing. But this time around, the government is taking the 8%, and if you are participating in OTS, you pay the 16%, and you know it is controlled by the market. The 8% that was removed is taken back to the same government that is now going to take care of the other things like the free education and fertilizers and all those kind of things. So it is the same thing. It is just changing the goal. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That is Florence Jematia, a member of the Budget Committee and of course a woman representative for Baringo County. We are pressed for time, but I'll be handing over to my colleague Kelvin Nyakundi, who is at the steps of Treasury offices, to give us more from the other end. Over to you, Nyakundi.
All right, thank you, Emmanuel Tor. And of course, as you mentioned, Kelvin Nyakundi is at Treasury Buildings, and that's the center of activities. That's where the Treasury Cabinet Secretary and the whole team are walking to Parliament or driving to Parliament. Let's see if we can get him now. Kelvin Nyakundi, if you can hear me, how far are the preparations? Is he ready? And what time do you expect him to leave?
To you live from the Treasury Buildings right here in the CBD, and a couple of minutes from now we're going to just wait and see the CS Treasury in Njuguna Ndung'u walking down the stairs and holding the black briefcase, just to show us that the budget is ready to. They're going to now travel just a few maybe meters away to Parliament. And remember, some things to remember: this is the first budget under the Kenya Kwanza administration, 3.6 trillion shillings, and it is a little bit much from the last one, which was 3.39 trillion shillings, which is almost 251 billion shillings increase. And this is coming at a time when the economy is at a crunch in the country, and Kenyans who are camping outside here just to wait for the CS to just step down the stairs. And right now I'm going to be joined by one of the Kenyans who is standing out here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. Tuambie majina yako na your expectations today.
I am Vincent Mutu. My expectation is a reduction of cost of living. Yes, it's high, but we expect commodities, basic commodities, to at least come to a level where Kenyans can be able to afford. Yeah.
All right. And when we look at the proposals that have been made, the allocations that have been made, is this budget speaking to the common mwananchi?
In a way, it's speaking to a common mwananchi, because common mwananchi, even we are not in salary. The people who are affected most are employed. On this, we can say at least common mwananchi will benefit in a way. It has been many years where common mwananchi is only one is taxed. Yeah.
All right. And also, as we are also waiting for this momentous occasion where the budget is going to be read, when you look at the economy where we are as a country, first of all, ningependa kujua if you are a person, mtu wa jua kali, ama you are employed, so that at least we see how this conversation will go. So, are you a jua kali person or are you employed?
A jua kali person. Asra amahoka here. Yeah.
And what do you expect? Do you think that the budget has really spoken to the hustler person, the person who is at the lower cadre of the economy?
I'm expecting the way Mr. President promised us during campaigns is exactly what is in budget, because we had an agreement. We agreed this is our budget. So I'm expecting us workers here will be able to feel the budget directly. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.